Okay. Hi, thank you for joining me. Oh, let me get my glasses. Hi, thank you for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be discussing what's known as the silent E rule. And in this rule, it's pretty straightforward. If you've got a word that ends with the letter E, then you are going to look at its preceding or the vowel that, excuse me, you're going to look at the preceding vowel or the vowel that comes before that E, and you're going to say the name of that vowel, as it were, in its long form. Before we go any further, what I wanted to do is discuss a little bit about the 5 vowels in English, which I'll go ahead and write hopefully as neatly as I can on screen. They are A, E, I, O, and U, and I say 5 yes, but Y in some instances will be considered a vowel, depending on the sound it produces. Okay, here you've got the letter A, first vowel, which can be, actually they can all be said one of 2 ways, short and long. When it's pronounced short, you will often see it indicated as such with a marker above it. In this case, it's like a little cap or part of a triangle. This tells you that it's the short form. So A in this instance would be pronounced A, whereas in its long form, indicated with a bar right above it, it's pronounced as you would read it, which is A. So again, A for short, A for long. For E, you have E for short, E for long. I would be I as in icky for short, and then I for long. And O would be aw for short, and then O for long. Hopefully you're seeing a pattern. And then of course for you, you have as in under for the short form, and U for its long form. Again, in this rule, silent E, the E itself at the end, you're not pronouncing it. It's silent for a reason. However, it does indicate that the vowel, like we talked about preceding it, needs to say its name, as we say, in its long form. An example would be the word Tim. It's a proper noun, it's a name. Not the best example. And if I were to take that same word but add an E to the end, now I know to look to that preceding vowel, which in this example is an I, and I remember, okay, the short form of I is I. So I'm going to, is the long form of I is I. So I'm going to pronounce it as time, as opposed to the word above, which is Tim, wherein the I is pronounced in its short form, I. You could do another one, right? You could do, if I could think, bit, right? Like a bit of something, or I was bit by a bee. So again, the I is pronounced in the short form, whereas the same word with an E at the end now becomes bite. The I now is said in the long form. Bite. All right. I had more examples on this one. Excuse me. You could do another one. You could do, how about a real word? Oh, sorry, I can't think on the fly. Okay, you could try, let's try this one. I had a brain freeze. Okay, you could try another one like kit, which is like an assembly of something, like a package of things that you would need to put together, like a kit to build a barbecue, or a kit to make a workbench like the one I'm using right now. Or again, you're going to add the letter E at the end, and now the I said in its long form would be kite. And again, I don't know why I stuck with examples dealing with I only. There's lots of other examples that you can use with any of the other vowels, and the rule would apply. Let's go ahead and dive a little bit further into the silent E rule. When you're adding a suffix, and again, a suffix will always be appended at the end of a word, whether it's ed, ing, es, or so on to change its tense, you actually drop the E that is attached to the word, and you replace it with the suffix only. An example would be time. If I were to add the suffix, let's say es, I wouldn't write, oh, there were many timies that I was late. No, instead I would say something to the effect of, there are many times when I was late. So you would drop that original E, replace it with whatever suffix is being appended to it. And the same thing for ing, right? So time-ing is everything, as opposed to time and then ing. You always strike that E. And I believe those are pretty much the only principles that you need to remember when it comes to the silent E rule. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. Hopefully this recorded successfully, which it did. Perfect. Again, just to reiterate, our points is if a word ends with that E, you're not pronouncing the E outright. It is, however, a tell to look for the preceding vowel and that preceding vowel is going to be read in its long form, not its short form. So A is not going to be ah, O is not going to be ah, U is not going to be It's all going to be read the way that you would read it as a letter, right? So A would be A, E would be E, I would be I, O would be O, and U would be U. Okay, hopefully this was helpful, and if it was, of course, I would encourage you to hit the like button and also subscribe if you haven't already. It would really help aid in the in my reach, I suppose, with the YouTube algorithm. But otherwise, thank you again for joining. I'll be back with another video regarding another spelling rule in English. All right, thank you.